Let's just open it up to questions.
Is DJ Reader still potentially a chance Sunday, or are you guys still thinking?
Yeah, there's a chance. I would say this week was really what we had circled to give him the bulk of true football. Like, this was his first real padded, going against, not just individual and doing some walkthrough. Like, man, he's in team. He's going on. We had him do some team defense, but also run scout team too. Go against Frank and Graham and Zeitler, and just get his confidence up, bang away in there, and really take it day to day. So yes, there's still a chance. I'll know more probably after tomorrow than I do right now. He's doing well. He's doing well.
I know we sometimes ask you this when there's a practice squad guy, or maybe you claim a guy off waivers, but what is the cat and mouse game with Jonah Jackson on the other side? I mean, how much is he able to, just being in this offense for so long, reveal kind of what you do schematically? How much do you have to, make sure you're aware of what he offers to their scouting?
Yeah, I mean, we're aware of it, and Jonah's got a good grasp of what we've done here and what our things are, and we've changed a number of things for that we feel are important, getting ready for this one. But we also, we've done this before with other players, like Blau going to Minnesota is like, oh man, and you can drive yourself crazy thinking about they're on to this, they're on to this. You just think of just a couple of these things that really could come up where they have time to hear it, adjust, whatever, then all right, let's change that. We'll change the name of that. We'll change this code word. And everything else, don't worry about it. Man, you're in the moment. Things are flying. Bullets are flying. For the defense to start thinking about, what did Jonah tell us? So we're not going to overthink this, but we feel like we won't. We've covered our backs here a little bit in some areas, yes.
And obviously, you just played these guys, but what's the biggest difference about this team, and what's the biggest difference in their team as you look at this matchup relative to the last time?
Yeah, well, I would say for them, this to me is a better team than what we faced last year. Just looking at their personnel coming in, I feel like this is a better offensive line. I feel like this is a better D line. I understand they lost Donald, but I think what they gain is youth, and collectively, that front, man, is, I've said it before, they're young, they're hungry, they're high motor, like they're gonna push us. They're gonna push us, and then I think the secondary's improved, these corners, and then certainly their old line over there. Getting Jonah, I think, was big. They retained Dotson, and the backs, the backs on top of Stafford being who he is and mastering this offense and the ability to really, he's kind of got everything at his disposal to do what he needs to. So I just feel like it's they've developed, some of their young guys from last year develop. I expect them to be better than they were last year. The influx of youth that they got this year, those are all players we really like too, in the draft. And so, I think they're going to be a better team. But I feel like we're better too. So I feel like you're getting two teams that are better. Now, this is game one. This is week one. But I feel like both of us have improved, and we're getting ready to head off here Sunday night. So.
Player we haven't asked about this week, I don't think yet, is Puka. Obviously, he had a really good rookie year. Played last year. Him and Cooper, if he's healthy, both those guys, I guess. What sort of challenge is that for your secondary, especially given the newness, I guess, of those guys?
Yeah, I think, both of those guys are, I mentioned this earlier, but, I've got a lot of respect for both of those guys, first of all. They're both tough players. They really do everything. There's things about them that remind me of our guys. They do the dirty work, man. They're very much a part of the run game with the way that they block and insert and take on backers and safeties and everything. But then, man, they play tough. They play tough in the pass game. They play fast. I think they're physical. I think they attack the football. I think they're hard to get down, run after catch. So, just the element of their game. it translates to this league, man. Competitive, strong. And so to have two guys that are pretty smart, pretty versatile, I feel like Puka's a little bit just kind of bigger, plays bigger, and then Cooper's kind of the underneath wiggle guy. He can run the choice route still. He's always been able to do that. And I know Stafford's got a lot of trust in both of those guys. So, I thought Puka had a hell of a game last year against us, man. He really, he made plays all over the field, So it'll be a challenge, but I know this, man. Our guys are looking forward to this. They really are, I know Arnold's excited. First one, man, he's ready to go. I mean, he's, he does not lack confidence, okay? So he's ready, and he practices. But I tell you what, he practices now. I mean, he works, and, that's what gets you excited. CD's back. He's coming off this injury, so I thought he had a good day yesterday. And then certainly Branch and Kirby, having them back there working together as well. Meek's back, which is great. Ennis is working. So look, like any week, they'll present challenges, but I think the challenges here are that they do so much of everything from run to pass game. And that to me is, man, that's a receiver. Guys that'll do everything for you. That's why we love St. Brown, and Leaf and these guys. J-Mo, I mean, they'll stick their face in there, but then in the pass game, man, they show up for you.
Correlates, but you kept Brian Branch at nickel last year just to kind of concentrate his focus. Do you do that with Terrion? Do you play him one side? Is there any benefit to keeping him locked to a side of the field to narrow his focus and concentration?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that normally that does help. I would say we're not as concerned about that with him. And with CD for that matter. CD's played enough to where he can play boundary or he can play field. But no, I don't feel like that's something that we have to do with Arnold. Look, he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
Talking to Jahmyr yesterday, he said he was ready to go. Can you just maybe explain the level of caution you've approached these hamstring injuries with him over the summer?
Well, it's he's looked good. He looks real good. This has been 2 weeks really coming back. He and LaPorta both, and he looks good. I think here's the trick with Gibbs, and we tell him this. I mean, everybody top to bottom tells us this. Fish tells him, Mike Clark tells him, I tell him, is man, which is something I know nothing about. When you can run like he runs, I mean, this guy can run. Then if you don't touch that speed in practice at least once or twice a day, you set yourself up for something to happen on Sunday, because you haven't, man, you're a guy who runs 22 miles an hour. You better touch it, because the first time you touch it is in the game, when somebody's coming after you, I'm running away, that's where bad things happen. And when you have supreme speed, that's, you can kind of pull away and practice. You pull away, but you haven't had to truly turn it on until you got in the game. And so I think that's just the trick is educating him on that and making him do that so that, so that he doesn't have a setback. And so we're on it. He's doing it, and we like where he's at.
A lot of the evolution of your offense really hinged on the younger guys coming up, like LaPorta and Gibbs, and you can throw J-Mo in there too, I guess. So how have they grown to help this offense evolutionize itself?
Yeah, all of them have grown, and first of all, it starts with having guys that understand what you expect out of them. And then what their role is in this offense and what we're asking them to do. And I think more importantly, man, any player that you have, it's one thing to say, this is what we need you to do, want you to do on this, because this will be your throw. We think they're going to play this coverage. You are number one in the progression. Well, that's kind of easy, right? Because I'm getting this ball, so I'm attentive. But it's the others where you're number 3 in the progression. You have to get to the inside edge of the numbers. You have to get all of 15 yards. If you're too fast on this, it's those things, man, where you really fit into the concept, where you fit, what is your piece of the puzzle, and understanding that. Because honestly, like LaPorta, that's where a number of his catches came. He was number 2 or number 3 in the progression last year. Now, he had plenty where we got to where he was number 1, but he had a ton of those. And it's because attention to detail and understanding what we wanted. And when we needed him, when Goff had to get all the way through it, there he is. He's open, he's available. So I think all those guys understanding that and growing in that have gotten better. It's always going to be attention to detail. And look, they're attentive guys. They want it. We've mentioned Jahmyr earlier about, man, he wants it. He's receptive. He's open to it. He takes the coaching. He tries to improve on it. And I would say all those guys are that way.
I want to ask you about your kind of commercial star of late with restaurants and law firms. Did you, two things, I guess. Did you have endorsements as a player? Like, did you do commercials for used car lots or something? And what was the process like?
Used car lots. I like it. It does sound like me, right?
What was it like? What was it like to sort of do these commercials? How fun was that for you?
No, I didn't. I didn't have that as a player. I think I had one old commercial, but it was just that was something with the Cowboys a long time ago. I don't know if it is or not, but no, it was. Look, this was something. I've been reluctant. My wife and my daughter are constantly like, "Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. Do this, do that." And so they talked me into the Applebee deal, and I said, "All right, we'll do it." So anyway, look, I had fun with it. The staff and crew that worked with us were unbelievable. I mean, the actors were awesome. I mean, they made it what it is. I mean, they were unbelievable. So they made me feel comfortable, and so we just did it. It's done. So, and unfortunately, there's more to come, I'm afraid. So, anyway, they were unbelievable, though. They did a great job.
That's a tough act to follow, but you mentioned Branch earlier. You guys moved him back to safety, be more of a playmaker, keep him on the field more. I'm just curious, now that you've seen it for a few weeks, have you seen that kind of what you guys hoped there, and how excited are you to see him in that role Sunday night?
Yeah, he for the snaps that, he missed a little bit of training camp, as you know, but we feel like we've kind of had him the last 2 weeks here. And then he was able to take all those walkthroughs when he was out. And I would say Branch is, without speaking out of turn, before we get into the season and it's real games and all that, I would say we like where Branch is at, and I think he's going to be just fine. Branch, as you know, is a football player. He's a football player. He does not lack awareness and instincts for the football, and I think this will serve him well. But he is not going to be just pigeonholed into safety. I mean, he's got versatility, as you know, and he can play both nickel and safety.
What was the commercial you did for the Cowboys when you were playing?
Oh, yeah, I'm not answering that.